This is the Dave and Shecky Show. We got this groovy podcast for ya. Reviewing crazy tunes or quoting Twain and Sting and Dune. We'll bring ideas to share like bonus points for extra flair, cause it's the frickin' Dave and Shecky Show. This is the Dave and Shecky Show. We're bringing you this groovy review. We might preview movies, bake some bread, or drink some smoothies. So come on, have way too much caffeine. You roll up some rivers, I'll reference some Raffy. This is the Dave and Shecky Show.
Moonpod rental, may I help you?
Yes, I am calling about the Moonpod rental special I read about in the newspaper.
Can you tell me what this product is?
Well, apparently it is a pod that is going to be ejected from space, our space, and will land on the moon. So we can put things on the moon with the Moonpod.
Why would you rent one?
Why? You opened the business.
I'm just making sure you're qualified.
Oh, I see. Well, I just feel like I want my place in history.
Can you hold, please?
Oh, sure.
Moonpod rental, can I help you? Can you hold, please? Okay, that's a first.
Well, you asked me to hold, but you didn't actually put me on hold.
I wanted you to hear how important I am.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm quite impressed.
I have two phones. I don't have a hold line. I just have a different phone.
Color me impressed is what I say.
Wasn't that a boy band?
Color me impressed.
I want to sex you up by Color Me Impressed.
I don't know what that is.
It's not.
Okay. Are you done with this?
Color Me Bad? Wasn't that what it was?
Oh, maybe, but I'm...
B-A-D-D?
Okay.
Because it was extra hip?
Uh-huh. I just...
All right, look. You don't want a Moonpod rental, that's fine. You can just go get an ice cream cone next door. That's your consolation price. Half off on the ice cream since you didn't make the cut for the Moonpod rental.
Well, all right. Well, you seem to be a bit of a dick, Mr. Moonpod.
Well, we have very high quality, Let's just say that years ago I was rejected, and now I'm taking that on you.
I see.
I tried out for NASA, and NASA didn't like me.
Well... NASA is in good company.
So now I got my own... That's why you can't buy the Moonpod, because I can't afford to sell them. I just rent them, which makes 0 sense.
Yes, because you'll be renting them forever.
It's not the people selling them. It's not a question of them affording if they can sell them or rent them. It's the people buying them.
Yes.
Or renting them.
Is there
rent to own is not a question of ripping off the owner. It's ripping off the guy going to the store.
Of course.
Okay, let's get that clear.
I don't think that
This is a TED Talk.
No, it is not.
Oh.
So I just want to say welcome, everyone. This is episode 110 of the Middle-Aged Cool Kids super terrific podcast featuring your pals
Franken and Davis.
No.
I'll be Franken. Here, have a nap. What, is that bad?
Yeah. He's kind of a creep.
Come on. People like me.
No one likes you anymore.
I never liked him.
Okay. Well,
I always thought he was a creep. But the other guy, now him I liked.
Tom Davis?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now, didn't we go to a show and... Were we at the show? Were we at Saturday Night Live when they did the skit where he's in the basement listening to Cream? Or is that just am I imagining that?
Well, we've gone to... I think you and I together went to one show. Is that right?
It was Tom Davis in the basement.
Was that the Brendan Fraser episode? We'll have to look that up.
They find him and he's listening to Sunshine of Your Love. He's been down there for the past 15 years.
Smoking
that kind of thing.
herb.
Yeah. Or am I just imagining that we saw that? I saw it on TV.
We might have seen it on TV, but now you're making me think that we were there for that.
Well, listen. I was next door while you was in your room.
What do you mean?
And then next morning I came out and I had a hit song.
What are you talking about?
Talking about 70 shows.
Oh, okay.
With silly little subplots.
All right. Well, anyway, I wanted to say...
Come on, I'm trying to transition here.
I know, but we have some explaining to do.
Oh.
We've been away for quite a while. It's spring here in upstate New York, and the weather is perfect to do things outside before it gets too hot and muggy and buggy. So we've been doing some gardening, yard work, blah, blah, blah.
Springtime for Shitler.
Yeah, that's it. So we're sorry that we've taken the extra time. We have continued doing the YouTube videos, though. So if you have not checked out the YouTube channel, Dave does reaction videos to songs that people suggest. And sometimes he likes them. Sometimes he likes them more. But
I got a problem, I think. I think if we're not talking about music, I can't concentrate.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So if you ask me about music, I'll treat you like a human being. But anything else, I'm just go off into Lulu land.
Well, isn't that something?
Is that called something? Is that a syndrome?
That's called we've been married for 20 years and
I
we
need
don't
to be
agree
around
on
more
music.
musicians.
Yes. Well, okay. So what are you saying?
I'm saying
Are you leaving
the
me
less
to
I practice,
tour?
the better you sound. Huh?
Okay.
That's my new idea. Come on, spread it around.
Okay. Well, do you want to make a T-shirt out of it?
It's kind of like the more you drink, the better I sound. Well, the less I practice, the better you sound.
Excellent.
Because you don't sound too good. Because I sound too good.
Okay.
Huh?
All right.
Eh?
Okay. Anyway, so that's why we've been away. We have been keeping up on the YouTube, but not on the podcast. But today we're changing that. And today's episode is all about our top 5 70s shows. Now, I wanted to do top 10, but Dave said that would make the show too long. And I have many shows from the 70s I personally love. So this one was harder for me to pare it down to a top 5.
Well, I want to know, just before we get started, are these blindfolds really necessary?
What?
Oh, sorry. Is it just me? I thought I had a blindfold on.
No. Why
Turns
do you
out my headband's too tight. Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you want to change your headphones?
No, it's not that.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get started.
I don't get it, though.
That's not a joke. I'm just out of my mind. That's,
okay.
The point of what I was saying
Wait,
before.
did you sneak downstairs and pull a Tom Davis before the start of the show?
Wait, did I leave Sunshine of Your Love play in there?
Okay.
Is that your clue? Or is it the way I'm acting?
It's, okay. Anyway, so there's that. So now we know what Dave's mindset is. I'm drinking chamomile tea, so we couldn't be more opposite.
I drink chamomile tea, too. Say that 3 times slow.
I don't want to say it at all.
Okay.
So are you ready with your number 5? Because I'm curious. I don't see a piece of paper.
Oh, see, I figured, look.
No, but I asked
if I
you
love
to...
these shows so much, I should be able to think of them. I don't need to be reminded.
No, but you're supposed to put them in an order.
No, I got an order. It'll come out in an order.
Okay.
Boom, this is how it works.
I did ask for a list.
Something. No,
I did
got a
ask
mental
for a
list
paper
here.
list.
I got a honey-do list.
Uh-huh.
Now, listen.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you what I think? Or do you want to start with what's up on the screen?
This is why I put the screen up and didn't put it on a top 10, because I knew you could not look at it.
Well, let me tell you something.
I don't want you to look at that.
You're telling me I don't want you. Don't want me to look at it. Let me just ask you. I got a question. I think everybody
I'm going
needs
to turn off the screen.
Come on. Emergency. You're telling me that was a show from the 70s?
Yes.
I thought it was the 60s.
It started in 68, but it did play in the 70s.
Whoa, and Adam 12, same thing?
David, I'm going
Next
to
thing you
turn
know-
off the screen.
All right, my favorite show from the 70s
No,
is
I'm
Car
not-
54, where are you?
Okay, listen to me.
Huh?
I want your number 5 show.
All right. You ready?
Your number 5 show from the 70s is what?
The Brady Bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you liked the Brady Bunch.
Are you kidding me? I'm all about Marsha. No.
Really?
No, well, I like the Brady Bunch. I happened to dig the Brady Bunch when I was a kid.
You did? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, all the episodes were fun. Every character was fun except for fucking Jan, a goddamn party pooping fucking imaginary woman person Jan.
Are you talking about George Glass?
I'm talking about George Glass.
Okay. Who was your favorite Brady?
My favorite Brady was Greg. He was the hippest, man.
Really?
Yeah. Greg was cool. Smoking cigarettes, hanging out in the upstairs part of the house in his own little pad. I like Greg when he became a high school guy.
Oh, okay.
Greg in high school. That was hip. The whole Johnny Bravo thing.
You love Johnny Bravo.
No, but that period was, the climax of the Brady Bunch.
Okay. When they got a little groovier.
Exactly. The whole nation got groovy, as did the Brady Bunch.
I did not
Real
know.
sign of the time show.
I did not know you had a thing for the Brady Bunch.
Oh, come on. The whole to be or not to be. That is the question that I ask of, what is it? Something like that? Yeah, the whole thing going there.
Okay.
The fugue or whatever.
Dave,
Eh?
can I ask you about your beverage?
I don't have one.
I know. I would love for you to just go ahead and get yourself some water.
I don't want water.
Can you please go get some water?
Man.
You're like Edgar over there. You know what I'm saying?
A few moments later.
Okay, much better.
All right. Well, now that I know how much you love the Bradys, perhaps we should have a Brady-centric episode
Brady-centric.
where we can, do a retrospective, if you will.
I even like the Brady movie
Oh, okay.
from the 90s.
But there was 2 Brady movies.
See, I like it so much I thought it was one movie.
Okay. Well, I honestly did not know. After all these years, I did not know that you like the Bradys so much that you would put them at number 5.
Right off the top of my head, yes.
Okay. What?
What? Did I say that? No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
not supposed to be off.
It's
There's
my
some
list.
thought
This
in
is
this.
my list. I have a process.
All right.
All right. What's your number 5? If
Mine-
you're so special.
Excuse me?
What? I said, if you're so special, what's your number 5?
You're so weirdly aggressive.
Whoa.
All right.
What was it? A $6 million man? What?
My number 5
Yeah.
is a $6 million man.
It is?
I have it written right here, you motherfucker. How did you know?
Because I have a little thing that's called I'm very in tune with stuff.
I've never have spoken to you about my love of the $6 million man. I guarantee it.
Well, I got to tell you, I like that show too.
Okay. Well,
So that could have easily been my number 5.
all right. Well, I loved Lee Majors. I loved that he was married to Farrah Fawcett. Foreshadowing. I loved the $6 million man because it was kind of almost also like sci-fi because he was so, bionic. And so I really just dug all of that. And then the episodes were always great. I loved the sound effects when he was using his I just loved it all.
That sound effect was big.
Loved it so much that, when other little girls were getting Barbies and such, I got a $6 million man action figure because I loved it so much. And I would play with it and I would make up stories.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. Did you have an Oscar Goldman?
Well, yes, because the $6 million man I had switchable faces.
Whoa. Now that's the movie we need to make.
So you could put on the Steve Austin face, or you could put on the Oscar Goldman face.
As if Oscar Goldman had the same robust body as Steve Austin.
Well, in a 10 or 11 inch action figure, they did.
Don't get me started on action figures from the 70s, because that's a show in its own right.
All right, then don't get started.
Because I like the one that looks like Jesse Metcalf.
Okay, that's G.I. Joe, and we're not talking about Jesse Metcalf or G.I. Joe today.
Damn it.
So, yeah, that was my number 5. I don't know how you guessed it. I just wrote the list out before you came up because I didn't want you looking at it or snooping around, but just apparently somehow you knew. Because even when you went to go get your water because of your awful dry mouth, I put my hand over my list so you didn't see.
Yes, it just is, I'm just on that plane, man.
All right. Excellent. All right. So what's your number 4?
Well, now I've drained all my energy trying to guess your number 5.
I see.
Now give me a second.
Your psychic energy?
Yes.
Are you chip
My
coffee?
What?
Are you chip coffee?
I'm cheap coffee.
Okay.
Usually at Maxwell House.
Excellent.
Hold on a second.
Uh-huh.
Cheap coffee. That's Chip's brother. The half breed. Okay, hold on a second.
Breed of what?
Why, I don't want to say.
Is he a muggle?
I don't know what he is.
I see.
Hold on a second. He's a mongrel.
All right.
All right, we got to cut all that out.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, so my number 4 is not the Partridge Family.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, that would be a logical progression if you think you like the Brady Bunch. You might say, oh, well, the Partridge Family's next. But no, I kind of didn't love the Partridge Family, even though they were musicians. Something about it I didn't connect to. What was it about the Partridge Family? I do not know. All right, my number 4.
Maybe Reuben Kincaid freaked you out, man.
Reuben was a bit of a dick, wasn't he? He was really a party pooper.
He's a manager. He had that vibe. That I need to make money off of you vibe.
I liked Danny. Danny was cool.
Uh-huh.
Chris was a little asshole.
See, I don't even, those little ones, I don't even, I didn't even.
Chris was an asshole who couldn't play. He was faking the funk.
What was he
Was he the drummer?
Was he the drummer? No.
Yeah, the little kid who was the drummer. That motherfucker, Hal Blaine played all his tracks.
Okay, well.
Fuck Chris.
God bless Hal
Now,
Blaine.
Danny Bonaducci, you could tell that man could pluck some strings.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah, Danny's a real maestro.
All right.
Anyway. This is what you call stalling to figure out your number 4.
Well, you know why you wouldn't have to stall if you wrote a list.
All right, Barney Miller.
Oh, okay.
Bam! Coming at you. Now, that was a quality show. Now, before I say Barney Miller.
You've already said it.
Well, that's fine. But I'm sticking with Barney Miller as number 4.
Okay.
But going back to your number 5.
Uh-huh.
$6 Million Man actually still holds up.
Yep.
That show is actually entertaining today. Now, some other shows from the 70s aren't. Like Barney Miller, slightly less entertaining. It holds up, but I think $6 Million Man might even hold up better. But that being said...
You know why, though? Because it wasn't... you've got, like, say, Barney Miller was so of the time,
right.
You know?
Yes.
And where $6 Million Man was
more
apolitical. It was exactly. It was not about the time.
Science fiction meets crime drama.
Exactly.
Interesting.
But I will say that there are still, like that Barney Miller pot episode, I know I will still be in stitches regardless of the time.
Oh, there's plenty of good Barney Miller episodes.
Yeah.
And the thing about them is they have so many absurd character actors on there that just come in and guest for the one episode.
Yes.
So, not to mention, now, am I imagining it, or is his name Steve Landsberg?
Yeah, I think so. I loved him.
He was amazing. Then you got Wojciechowicz, whatever his name was.
Max, was it Thayer?
Maybe.
I think so. I adored him, actually.
This is the thing about Barney Miller. You had so many good actors on it, it's absurd.
Yes.
So it was
Harris.
Yeah, Harris, exactly. And the little guy, what was his name again? The cop.
The guy from the San Francisco Treat Rice-A-Roni commercials.
The little brown-haired guy?
Yeah.
He's classic. I mix him up with, what's his name from Bruno Kirby.
Oh, okay.
But it's not him.
No, definitely not.
And then you had Fish.
Right.
I mean, the whole thing. There's like everyone. How many spin-offs were from that show?
And Jack Sue.
Ah, yes. Who died of cancer. We all knew that. Some reason we all heard that.
Didn't hear that.
Why? I mean, how many spin-offs were there?
There was Fish, and
Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's all they could milk out of it was Fish.
Fish lasted a few years, though.
I like Fish, but you couldn't cut Harris a break? You couldn't give Wojciechowicz a run?
They should get those guys back together and do another.
Wojo. It could have been called Wojo. Like Kojak, but Wojo.
I loved Wojo.
Come on, it was
He was
excellent.
a bear of a man.
It was absurd. I like him in DC Cop.
There's something about him, right?
Not DC Cop, DC Cab.
DC Cab.
Damn, DC Cop, that's a whole nother thing. All right, anyway, so yeah, that's my number 4.
Barney Miller.
Now, this is not a question of what holds up the best. It's just a matter of favorites.
Yes.
So Barney Miller is my number 4.
Excellent.
Oh, yes.
Did you want to guess my number 4?
Number 4 from the 70s. Love Boat.
My number 4 is Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels Boat. Now, Charlie's Angels was kind of like $6 Million Man.
Exactly.
In that it was it was. It kind of holds up to this day to a certain degree.
It's the shot on film action adventure, but this time it was 3 ridiculously beautiful girls. So I was a girl So I kind of like, ooh, look at girls having fun and kicking ass and driving cool cars and solving, crimes. It was like it was kind of like Nancy Drew, you know what I mean? Just more of an adult Nancy Drew. And they were great. Bosley was funny, and there was the mystery of Charlie. And
Charlie was a creep.
Charlie was just a rich dude who was like, probably using the girls as some sort of tax shelter. Who knows what he was up to? But I loved it. I loved the original three the best, of course. Jaclyn Smith was my favorite. Like I just was like, when I play Charlie's Angels, I have to be Kelly. As one would do.
It was Farrah Fawcett, Jaclyn Smith, and Jaclyn what?
Kate Jackson.
Kate Jackson?
No.
Kate Jackson?
Kate Jackson.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
There you go. Sure.
Kate Jackson was like the lesbian.
No, she was not like the lesbian.
That's what they tried to make it like that.
She
was a little butch.
You think so?
Yeah.
See, I'm a girl, so I'm not, I didn't, that was not what I thought.
She had a little bit more of the, come on, she was less dialed up than the other two. I didn't see her as a tomboy.
Okay.
She had brothers. She grew up with brothers in the family.
Okay, maybe. I wasn't doing that at the age I was watching this. I was like 10, 11, 12, so I wasn't thinking, she's the lesbian. That wasn't something that came in my mind.
Jackson.
What's wrong with you? Kate Jackson, Jaclyn Smith.
Jaclyn Smith had a hairline product, did she not?
No, Farrah Fawcett.
Someone had a hairline product.
Okay, you're saying hairline. No one had a hairline problem.
Not a hairline problem. Like a hair product line.
A line of hair products is what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Smokey Smokerson?
Shampoo and conditioner.
She was a Wella Balsam girl.
Oh.
And I think Jaclyn Smith also did some Wella Balsam, but I think that was Farrah Fawcett's. This was before celebrities got like their own line of products.
Not one of them endorsed Gee, your hair smells terrific?
Gee, your hair smells terrific. Maybe.
Thank you.
Okay. You're going to thank me for a maybe?
Why, I thought you were whispering to me.
No. What?
You just went, Gee, your hair smells terrific.
What?
What? You didn't hear, you don't even know that you did that?
What are you talking about? I said maybe, and you said thank you.
Yeah, before you said maybe, you whispered, Gee, your hair smells terrific.
Yours do not. What's wrong? Your hair does not smell terrific. I was just repeating the name of the product, not giving you any information about your own
almost
hygiene.
as if you didn't know you did it.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, that's fucking ridiculous.
You're nuts. Anyway, Charlie's Angels had a lot of great episodes. There was, and they all starred in them. You know what I mean? Like there would be one where it was Kelly centric and Jill centric and Sabrina centric. So it wasn't like they were playing favorites all the time.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved that show with my whole heart. And unlike you,
they had a good skateboarding episode.
Unlike you and your Brady Bunch movie loves, you're talking about the Brady Bunch movies not with the Bradys, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I did not enjoy any of the Charlie Angels movies with the Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu and
they jumped the shark.
Oh, Cameron Diaz, maybe?
Yeah.
I just don't like them. I don't like them. They didn't have the camp, the warmth.
They're not the same spirit.
Not the same spirit or the soul of the originals. And the ladies those occasionally you'll get a very special cast that gels, and they just modern movies don't care so much about that. They just throw shit together. So not a fan of those. But that was my number 4, Charlie's Angels. We're ready for your number 3, Dave.
Number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Yes?
I'd have to say Sanford and Son.
Ooh, okay.
Now, how about them apples?
Did you watch that with your parents? Did that something you watched on your own?
No, that's one of those shows that was like on. I feel like it was. I almost feel like it was reruns.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in the 70s, did they have reruns? And maybe they had reruns of it in the 80s.
Perhaps. But that's fine.
Because, I mean, that show was from like 73, 74, like that early, right?
Right.
I don't recall like loving it as a kid.
Uh-huh.
I recall loving it like about 10 years after it was on the air.
Did you have more than one TV in your house?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, we did.
I mean, just when I was younger, that was not the norm to have more than one TV.
Well, in the East Wing, we had...
You're right. Well, you
West Wing, we had another thing.
Okay. So did you watch TV with your folks?
Occasionally, yes. Yeah.
What were they watching? What do you...
Well, in the 70s?
Do you remember what you would watch with them?
In the 70s, they were watching... I recall watching Soap.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I watched Happy Days and all those shows.
With them?
All the classic shows, but I don't think I was watching them with them.
Oh, okay.
I think I was watching them by myself. Pretty much.
What?
The only shows I'd watch with them were, they'd watch whatever they were watching. And then I'd just come in and hang out, maybe.
No, you don't, but I'm just saying you don't recall whatever they were watching.
Oh, but this is not so much the 70s. I definitely recall Cheers, Hill Street Blues, St. Elsewhere.
So when you're old enough to, I guess...
those shows.
So just to remember that.
What else? I don't know. I'd have to think for a while.
What?
My dad liked the sports.
So your number 3 was...
The sports.
Yeah.
No. My number 3 is Sanford and Son because it was quite entertaining. You had Red Fox there, who was a comedic genius.
Yes.
And the writing on the show was also done by geniuses like Gary Shandling. So it had some decent writing. Even though it was a shit show on one side, kind of low. It was like a lowbrow kind of show on one side of it. Other side of it, it had really great Jewish like screenwriters writing like schmaltzy black stuff. So it was pretty fucking funny actually. And Red Fox was brilliant. And then you have that other woman who played Aunt
Esther?
Aunt Esther. And she is like, I feel like she's like from the vaudeville days or something. She's like an old classic like actress, comedic actress from like the black scene back in the days. And then you had other people who would guest star on it who were also from that time period. And we didn't know this as a kid watching it, but so it has all these classic actors in it. Not to mention Grady, who got his own spinoff. The man got a spinoff, okay?
Everybody loves Grady.
And then the Puerto Rican cat, Julio.
Rollo?
Was it Rollo?
I thought it was Rollo.
Yeah, it was Rollo.
Okay.
Who's Julio?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Rollo.
You're right. Yeah, so it was a cheesy show, but it was quite enjoyable to watch. And to this day, I find it to be hysterical when I watch it.
Yes. When I was little, their house was so messy that it made me upset. I couldn't get into it. I didn't like their furniture. I didn't like that they had just junk all over. Like it was just.
Oh man, it was like a pigsty.
It was, yeah.
It should have been condemned.
I couldn't. I just didn't like it. I couldn't. I was like, why are you sitting there talking when you could be cleaning this house?
I liked Lamont too. Quite frankly, I liked Lamont.
Yeah. I mean, everybody liked. I liked the characters. I thought Red Fox was great. But I had my own issues about their house being dirty. Like even right now, I'm getting a little bit of a anxiety attack.
I hear that. Well, this is the thing. Also, that show, though, had a catchphrase and a catch thing. That whole heart attack thing he would do.
Oh, yeah. Elizabeth.
Exactly. So the show really made its mark.
Yes.
And
do you think it ever jumped the shark? I didn't think it ever did.
I don't recall, but it may have. I'm trying to remember.
I know at the end he had a girlfriend that maybe he married.
Yeah,
That really pretty woman that was like, I was
right.
I was like, why is she with him? She was like a beautiful woman who was like classy.
She came to save him.
Yeah, exactly. She should have straightened up that house.
The house was insane. The 2 cops.
Yes.
Just ridiculous.
It was crazy.
So that left a lasting mark on me.
Excellent. That was your number 3.
I'm highly influenced by Grady. Mike Clark on drums, Grady on accents.
All right.
Thank you.
Are you ready for my number 3?
Yes.
My number 3 is Fantasy Island.
Oh. That was an intriguing show. Ricardo Montalban.
It had some magic. You know, the island was magic. Or maybe Ricardo Montalban was magic, but or Mr. Rourke. But there was people would come and they would want their fantasy, and maybe the path to getting it wasn't exactly what they expected, but
Fantasy Island was like the Love Boat on an island.
Fantasy Island was, so Love Boat was on, I think, at 9, and Fantasy Island was on at 10.
Ooh,
so
it was tantalizing.
It was a little more adult, maybe less comic-y, but some comics stuff, some comic relief. Obviously, you had the plane, but
what's his name again?
Hervé Villachez. Tattoo. But they had a lot of the same guest stars. Like, you definitely would see a Sonny Bono, a Barbie Benton, the same. It seemed like they were pulling from the same pool. So I think that's another reason why I liked it, because there was a lot of my favorite people from Love Boat on there. I loved Barbie Benton for whatever reason. I just thought she was adorable. I didn't quite realize that she was a playmate or that she had been Hugh Hefner's girlfriend. That's not something. There was just something about the way she looked. I think she had hair a lot like Jacqueline Smith. It was like a long, dark hair. And so I was just equated that with, oh, I like her.
I didn't watch that as much. I watched The Love Boat a lot. But I don't know, for some reason Fantasy Island, it didn't keep me tuned in.
I wonder if there was something else that came on after Love Boat that you watched. Like and I think I've told this story before on one of our podcasts, but at some point we got a small black and white TV, and I would wheel it into my room on Saturday nights, and I would watch very low volume because I would be, I would probably get the belt for watching TV.
The belt.
In the dark by myself, but I had the TV on very low, and I'd be really close up, and I'd watch Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and I would try my best to get through a half hour of news so I could then make it to Saturday Night Live. But, when you're 10, 11 years old, the news is boring as fuck, or it was for me. So like I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was just counting minutes. So, but yeah, Love Boat and Fantasy Island, my Saturday night go-tos. Fantasy Island was great, just great. So much magic going on, and I kind of liked to see Love Boat didn't have that magic, where it just seemed like there was something magical going on there that got you to your fantasy, whereas Love Boat was a little different.
Rough Boat, the more catchy, more campy.
Yes. All right, so that was my number 3. And what is your number 2?
Number 2. I gotta go number 2. Hold on a minute.
Oh, great.
Okay, I'm done.
Ugh.
What?
You could have used
Clean
the
up on
bathroom.
aisle 5.
Okay. Disgusting.
Clean up on the center aisle. You know what I'm talking about. Let me see now.
All right.
My number 2 is a little show called The Muppet Show.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So take that and stuff it in your Jim Henson.
All right.
And of course, my favorite character was Animal,
Was it?
because I'm a lunatic.
Yes.
Well, I liked Animal, yeah. Animal was great. I'm not going to say it was my favorite character. I just liked the whole show. But honestly, my favorite character were two people. And they were in the wings.
Oh, okay.
The old men. They were my favorite characters.
You like those curmudgeon-y old guys.
Yes.
I forget their names right now.
I don't remember the names, but I remember their actions. And I like that. I like I like them being critical.
Yes.
That was good. And one character I did not like was that goddamn eagle.
Oh, you
The
did?
big forehead. Was he a newscaster?
I don't know.
I don't like that motherfucker.
Why not?
I don't know. He was square.
He looked a little stern.
Yeah.
He did
I
look stern.
love the sax player.
You liked the band.
I love the band.
Dr. Teeth, I think that was the name of the
Exactly.
band.
Thank you very much. Yes. And then Beaker. What? Oh,
What?
Beaker was good.
You like Beaker?
I like Beaker, and I like that little guy who was always exploding.
Oh, the little rat guy?
Yeah. And, the whole show, the one person I did not like was Miss Piggy.
Uh-huh.
Miss Piggy can go fuck herself.
She was a little bit of a bitch.
She just ruined everything. She was like the Yoko of the whole show.
She kind of was. I didn't see what Kermit saw in her. And that carried over to all the movies too. I didn't like her. I didn't like her.
Kermit was a nice guy, but he was a pushover.
He was a little too much of a pushover. I didn't love Miss Piggy either. I didn't like her voice. I didn't like her attitude, and she wasn't very. I don't know. She wasn't. I just didn't. I thought there was someone better for him out there. Anyone. My favorites were Fozzie and Ralph.
Ah, yes.
I wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
Fozzie was the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
Is it Ralph or Rolf? It's the piano player.
Yeah, I confused him with Fozzie.
Fozzie's the one with the hat.
Yes.
Waka waka.
That guy, he had a cocaine problem, it turned out.
Did not.
What?
Stop it.
Fozzie was pawning shit on 42nd Street.
Fozzie's my favorite, so you have to shit on him.
Hey, Fozzie, get over here. Leave me alone, bro.
Okay.
That's
he
what
did
he
not
ended up
talk
sounding
like that.
Oh.
All right. What else? Did you
Fozzie, it turned out Fozzie had a really bad case of mange, too. Oh, jeez.
Why do you have to shit on my faves? Always.
I'm just kidding.
You're not, though.
What?
What?
I liked Fozzie.
Okay.
Fozzie never hurt nobody. Problem with Fozzie was he sounded too much like Fonzie.
What?
Fonzie. From a different show.
I see.
So I could only have allegiance to one character who sounded that way.
Oh, well, all right. I don't know what to tell you. Well, did you have a favorite guest host? They always had the hugest stars.
I feel like Buddy Rich, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember. I can't remember that clearly, but this is what I can tell you. I remember when that show premiered and was on the air, I watched it every night when it came on.
Yeah.
Once a week. And it didn't seem like it lasted that long.
And then they played it in reruns like every day.
But I mean, there might have only been like a couple seasons, if that.
I loved the opening number. That song was just so high energy.
Very good for kids.
Yeah.
So that's my number 2.
All right. Excellent choice.
Pooh.
Are you ready for my number 2?
Yeah.
My number 2, I don't think you're going to guess it.
I'm not going to try.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I don't know. It's a Love Boat.
It's okay. My number 2 is The Rockford Files.
Oh, Angel.
Right.
Standout character, Angel.
You love it. Stuart Margolin, I think his name is.
That is correct, sir.
Okay. I loved The Rockford Files, and maybe some of it was over my head, but there was something about James Garner.
The man lived in a van by the river.
He lived in a
trailer by the sea.
By the sea, and he drove a Firebird, or was it a Trans Am?
He was ex-con.
Pontiac Firebird.
I think it was something like that. Yes.
I loved him. I loved his relationship with his pop.
James Garner.
He was, to me, he was the ultimate, like, man dude. Like, I just thought he was great. He was out there.
Had a good theme.
theme was amazing. The show was great. He was great. There was humor in it. He's the precursor to Magnum, but just maybe not as good looking, but definitely more hard edge manly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Magnum was a little more of a tool.
He wasn't a tool, but he was a little bit more sensitive.
Rockford did things his way.
Yeah, I love Jim Rockford.
And I loved Angel.
I know.
He was a loose cannon.
See, the thing is that Angel, I liked him. He was funny, but he was also not trustworthy. And I thought to myself, Jim Rockford deserves a better friend.
Well, there you go. Who else was in Rockford Files? People we might know.
Let's see. Well, his dad was Noah Beery. Joe Santos was his captain.
That sounds like a familiar name.
I don't really think that there are many people we know.
So just more character actors.
I think it's just more character actors. Yeah, really.
All right. Very interesting.
I think Noah Beery was a famous actor, I believe. Prior to this, I think he was older at this point, but I think prior to this, he was in movies and stuff. But yeah, my number 2, Rockford Files.
What years did that go from?
1974 to 1980, six seasons.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I don't see why Pluto TV should have a channel for 70s hour-long action drama type shows. I think it would do really well. Honestly, I see that my top 5 is all hour-long shows, and your top 5 so far has been half-hour shows.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I liked to be immersed for as long as possible in my little fantasy world. You were kind of like, okay, this half hour is over. Let me go on to do something else.
I mean, I would have taken an hour if they had given it to me.
Yeah.
They didn't do it, though.
I guess most comedies are just a half hour. That's just how it is.
I got a bunch of side shows that I would like to acknowledge, but only 5. You can't say all of them.
Right, but you didn't tell me your number 1.
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. No, just kidding.
I was going to say, wow, okay.
Yeah. You want my number 1?
Yeah.
All right. You know what it is? Can you guess?
Oh, your number 1 show from the 70s. Not Sanford and Son, not Barney Miller. Your number 1 show. Is it a half-hour comedy?
Yes.
Soap.
No.
Oh.
The Odd Couple.
The Odd Couple. Dang, I could have guessed that. That's a good one.
The Odd Couple is the best show ever, in my opinion. That's all there is to it. It is the best sitcom ever.
And it holds up, right?
I believe so. It's just... It's absurd. You just look at the episode with Roy Clark. If you want a good episode.
I liked all of them.
Or, the one with Rosie Greer. Any of them. They're all absurdly good.
They really are.
Klugman, fucking Tony Randall. The show is so good that it's even as good as the movie, which is amazing.
Yes.
So how can you step into the shoes of Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon and still come off like you have a great show? You would expect if they try to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, most of the time that doesn't happen.
Like the Odd Couple from the 2000s, it's like ridiculous.
Right.
It doesn't compare to the 70s.
No. Well, because now you're not allowed to say things. Now you're canceled for every little thing. So they literally have sucked comedy out of everything, and so you can't be funny anymore.
And the Odd Couple is pretty tame.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show I could still watch in a this, I would say it holds up.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Oscar and Felix. I liked Oscar. I didn't mind that he was messy. He kept it in his room, but Felix, like, they were so opposite.
Felix was an asshole.
Felix was
Felix was an uptight ass.
when he would go.
It's a neurotic asshole.
I like the episode where they got and it's, for whatever reason, it's stuck in my head always when I think of it, is when they got the big, like, gorilla hand chairs. Do you remember that one? Felix got all new furniture in the apartment.
In the apartment or in his office?
I thought it was in his apartment because, and that's why, and Oscar hated it. Like, and it was like all like mod shit. And
I kind of vaguely remember that.
It was like two chairs that I thought they were gorilla hands, but maybe they were just like black leather.
Big hands.
It's fucking hysterical. I was like, wow, that shit is cool. And then, miraculously by the end of the episode, they had all their old furniture back.
Early 70s mod.
Yeah, it was pretty groovy. Oh, man. I did like that show.
Very good show.
A lot. But you did all your top 5 half-hour comedies.
Interesting. Let me think of my number one 70s show that's not a half hour. Well, this is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
My shows that I like that are an hour are from the 80s.
Like the Hill Street
Blues. Now that's the number one. That's the number one show from the 80s, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Just off the bat, what's your number one show from the 80s?
Well, we haven't found out what my number one show from the 70s
I know, so
is.
just off the bat, I'm going to take it on the side
My
here.
number one show from the 80s. The 80s were not great for me.
There's some really bad shows in the 80s. Now, you can't go half-hour sitcom in the 80s because they all suck. We'll try and watch them today. They're terrible. Growing Pains, Family Ties, all shit. Full House. You can't compare that shit to What's Happening and Good Times and fucking The Jeffersons. And Archie Bunker, which, quite frankly, I don't know why I didn't say All in the Family was my number one, because that's right up there, too. Shows that were good in the 80s were like, Magnum P.I. was good. These are all hour-long shows, though, right? I mean, we could have said MASH, but I feel like MASH is more of an 80s vibe for me. But it was a 70s show, wasn't it?
I'm trying to see if there's an 80s show that really
Night Court was fantastic.
jumps out at me.
Night Court was definitely great.
I'm trying to think back. I'm going to have to go with A-Team. I'm going to have to go with A-Team.
As your number one show from the 80s.
That I watched, yeah.
All right.
That I watched, yeah, without fail. I loved it. I loved it when a plan came together.
That's great.
Dude, I love hour-long shows that just tell a story and are a little goofy and campy and a little dangerous, and that's my list has shown that, basically. And my number one, you can finally guess, my number one 70s show.
Oh, Love Boat.
That's it. Love Boat is...
Love Boat's a great show.
Love Boat is a great show.
It's great mainly because of the actors.
Yeah, ton of like the cast of the guests. You get character actors. You get Oscar winners. You get everything in between.
It was a showcase for anyone who was anyone in the business.
And also, I just want to say, Pluto TV is absolutely free. If you haven't heard of it or you don't know of it, Pluto TV, they have a Love Boat channel, and you can watch it all day, every day. And honestly, it's amazing that they play it, because the humor and the subject matter from then is a no-go today. It's just a no-go. Like there's hardly a script, I think, that Love Boat of the 70s has that would be approved of today.
Yeah.
Just words that are used or subject matter, and none of it political. It's just not seen as, I guess, appropriate anymore. You know, the powers that be have decided that things are no longer appropriate. So I love it because I love the inappropriateness of it. I love that time. I hate now. I hate this PC bullshit. So I will sit my ass or put it on in the background and just have Love Boat inappropriately playing all day, if you let me.
It's a pleasure, I gotta tell you.
It is.
I'm just kidding.
Dave will sit down with the remote and he'll just start looking for things to watch. And he'll be like, oh, there's nothing on. And I'll be like, oh, there's something on. And then we'll hear the Love Boat theme.
Yeah, I like the Love Boat.
It's fun.
Now let me ask you something.
Stupid fun. I love it.
Was Get Smart a show from the 60s?
Get Smart. I remember it being in black and white.
It's the 60s. It didn't go into the 70s, did it?
I can look it up. But I also want to go through the top.
Because that honestly was one of my favorites also. But I feel like it's more of a 60s show.
Right. And I don't think you watched it in the
Yeah.
70s.
But however I watched it, it was one of my favorites.
1965 it started. 1965 to 1970.
So it's a 60s show.
Not quite a 70s show.
Yeah, Barbara Filden. Give it up for Barbara Filden.
99.
99. Not the Toto song.
Oh, is there, what's the Toto song?
It's called 99.
I see. All right, are you ready to hear what Ranker's top 10? The people's vote.
I am.
I'm going to have to ask you to avert your eyes because I see you're just...
I'm all about aversion.
You're trying to ruin it already for everyone. All right. According to Ranker.com, and this is where the people vote.
Can I look now?
No, you cannot look for the rest of the show.
That's terrible.
Number 10.
Yeah.
The $6 Million Man.
All right, fair enough. That was on our list.
Premiered March 7th, 1973.
Really? That early? Mm-hmm. I would put it more around 76, but okay.
That's, I think, when it was in its heyday.
All right.
That might have been right around the Sasquatch episode. Number 9.
Mm-hmm.
According to the people.
Yeah.
Three's Company.
Yeah, all right. I mean, it's a good show. It's a good show.
That premiered in March 15th, 1977. So these shows were not premiering in the fall.
It's a shitty show, though. That's the problem. It's one of those good shitty shows.
It has a lot of great actors in it, but...
It was a precursor to what was to come with sitcoms in the 80s.
Yes.
And it got worse when Norman Fell left. Mm-hmm. Even though I love Don Knotts, once Norman Fell left, you probably should have ended the show.
All right. Well, Dave has strong feelings about Three's Company. I did not know.
I don't know. I just love Norman Fell. I mean,
I think
he's adorable.
I think when Suzanne Summers left, I think is when it went downhill. I liked her a lot.
That's true, too.
Stop looking.
Whoa. Sorry.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
Number 8, according to Ranker.
Yeah.
Columbo.
You know. Columbo's a great show. What year did that premiere? 72?
September 15th, 1971.
71.
I like Columbo as well.
Columbo's brilliant.
Very, very fun. That's a great, fun show. It's not in my top 5, but I'm sure it would be in my top 20.
It's a good show.
He's great. Peter Falk is
I like all the guest stars on the show.
Yes. I think I would have liked it more if there was a little bit more comedy in it. I like a more campy thing. But he was, he's great in it. So that was number 8, according to Ranker. Number 7, Sanford and Son.
All right, fair enough.
Premiered January 14th, 1972.
Yeah.
It's weird how some of these are not premiering in the fall. I always thought the fall was a thing.
I don't know.
Apparently it wasn't.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Did you ever wonder what became of me?
That's not a show.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Oh, a 70s show. That's a 70s show.
1978 it premiered.
Yeah. I think of it as an 80s show. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
no, they're considering it as a 70s show.
Great show. I used to love it as well, but it is a little. That show doesn't hold up really.
I liked Herb Tarlick.
I like the suits.
Yes. I liked him. He seemed like a...
Mr. Carlson, Les Nessman,
Yes.
Johnny Fever, Venus Flytrap. I guess I like that show too. I know every single cat.
I guess
Bailey.
I was going to say, you're forgetting Bailey.
I'd never forget Bailey.
I know. Didn't you say you used to think I looked like Bailey?
Yes.
Because I'd come to the First House gigs in my glasses. Dave thought I looked like Bailey.
You know.
It's probably why he ever talked to me.
I love Bailey.
I see.
It's my new show. I wanted Bailey and the wife from Welcome Back Kotter to have a show.
Marcia Strassman?
Yeah, they needed a show together.
All right. What would they be doing?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, you're disgusting. And stop looking at the
It's like
screen.
a Thelma and Louise thing.
All right. Number 5. The Rockford Files.
Oh, look at you scoring big.
How am I scoring big?
I don't know. A few of your picks are in there.
Rockford Files and what else?
$6 Billion Man.
Oh, that's right.
Boom.
Number 4. Rockford Files premiered 1974, by the way, in September. So that was a fall show.
All right.
Number 4. All in the Family.
Yes, I should have picked All in the Family. I could have picked that over the Muppets easily.
Okay.
But I figured Muppets was influential as well.
I have to say, Meathead was so annoying all the time. I was always hoping she was going to divorce him and he would be out of their lives. So I did not like the show because of Meathead. He was just such a communist.
The worst part about that show was the one where Edith gets molested.
Oh, okay.
That is a no
very
one
special
wants to
episode.
see that.
No.
What are they doing? That was whoever. That is just terrible.
Yeah.
That is no one. No. Nuh-uh.
That's no good. You don't want to see that in a comedy.
Just for that episode alone, this show should be dropped from the list.
Okay.
That is unacceptable. That and the little girl who came to stay with him.
Oh, Danielle Brisbois.
Well, she was a cute little girl, but is she Annie?
She was
she in Annie?
She was Annie, I think, or in on Broadway at some point.
Yeah. Annie, are you Broadway? Huh?
You're looking at the screen.
No. Annie, are you okay?
Annie, are you okay?
Annie, are you Broadway? But listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that but no one wants to see that shit.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that on a show that's on at 8:00 on a Sunday.
Edith Bunker was like a motherly figure. No one wants to see their mom get harassed.
Yeah, no one wants that. That's disgusting. I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable episode.
I did like the Sammy Davis Jr. one. Would you like some cream and sugar in your eye?
Yeah, Sammy Davis, yeah.
That was a good one.
There's just countless great episodes. It's really just a pretty insane show.
I liked the one where, I liked I liked their neighbors when it was Frank and Irene. I liked those neighbors because they were Italian and I was Italian, so I was like, oh, I like them. I liked all their neighbors, though. I liked the Jeffersons, obviously.
I like the show The Jeffersons.
Yeah, the show The Jeffersons is really funny.
I like the English guy.
The neighbor.
Was he the neighbor or the doorman?
I think he was. Oh, maybe he was the doorman. Yes, and Roxy Roker and her husband Tom.
Exactly.
Were the neighbors.
Tom. That tool motherfucker.
Why was he a tool?
I don't know.
Roxy
always
liked
getting
him.
pushed around by Roxy.
Well, she was a little bit of a pushy girl, I guess. He seemed to dig it, though. They stayed together, so.
All right. Fair enough.
Number 3.
Yeah?
The Carol Burnett Show.
Come on. That's a 60s show. That started in the 60s.
It started in 1967. That is true. But that is a funny show.
It's a great show.
Great show. I mean, really side-splitting funny shit sometimes.
Harvey Korman, one of my favorite.
Tim Conway, one of my favorites.
Whoa. You take Tim Conway over Harvey Korman?
When he had the Mrs. Wiggins episodes where he was that guy.
Yes.
He made me. Yeah.
Mrs. Higgins, that was
I
pretty
did
funny
love Harvey
shit.
Korman on Flintstones, though, which neither of us mentioned either.
Great show.
All right.
More of a 60s show, in my opinion.
All right. Maybe I just saw it in the 70s because I was watching it on cartoons or whatever.
All right.
Number 2,
Yeah.
Happy Days.
I could have picked Happy Days.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I loved Happy Days. I watched Happy Days every time it was on.
All right.
And even more than Happy Days, I liked Mork and Mindy.
Not on the list.
Mork and Mindy was fucking a showcase of insanity.
Yes. I liked Mork and Mindy, too.
That was
I like Mork.
Yeah, no, the whole show was just great. I thought Mork and Mindy had a nice underlying message to it.
What was it?
Oh, it was like positive, kind of a family show.
I liked Mork and Mindy. You know what it was? He was really cute. He was really cute, and the character he was playing is so naive that it was kind of like a no-brainer for me. I just really adored Mork. I had the suspenders. I remember I got the suspenders. Yep. Did you have them?
I didn't, but my brother did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, you know what? Actually, I did have a pair. I never wore them, though.
Oh.
I kept them in my closet.
I wore them to school. Like, I loved Mork. Nanu, Shazbot. Like, Shazbot was the swear you could say when you were little because you couldn't swear.
That show took over the universe for a minute.
Yeah. For a minute. But it didn't make it into the top 10 on Ranker.
His guest appearances on Happy Days were just completely legendary.
Yeah. Well, that's the spinoff, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't even, he had a spinoff as a guest character.
Right.
When does that happen?
It was so beloved.
You don't spin off when you're just a guest.
Well, maybe it was planned though.
I don't know. They must have been like, this guy is definitely
But maybe it was a spin-off episode. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to see how it was.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they introduced the characters. It wasn't like Laverne and Shirley where these people were like,
developed characters.
You kind of always can tell when it's a spin-off type show.
Now,
And sometimes it doesn't
I don't know
work.
why they didn't have
out.
a Big Ragu spinoff.
You loved the Big Ragu.
I don't know if I loved him, but he was kind of worthy of Carmine.
He was on
Carmine show.
Okay. What would he have done? What would he just be?
He had his own pizza place.
Oh, I see.
And shenanigans ensue.
I thought you liked the singing.
Well, he could have had a
How he went
karaoke
from-
night before karaoke existed.
He always sang "Go from Rags to Riches." That's the song I always.
I don't
sang
remember.
all
I
the time.
remember him singing, though.
Well, no, Happy Days. A lot of good spin-offs, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Laverne and Shirley was not a great show, in my opinion.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I
They were
liked
little
it,
floozies?
but I liked it, but I guess I didn't like Shirley so much. She was a prude, and
You don't see that it is the Odd Couple?
I didn't like Shirley, and I was the Odd Couple. Is that what was going on there? I guess so.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Laverne was on the Odd Couple. She was the secretary.
Oh, there you go. Was she one of the? No, she wasn't the Pigeon Sisters. Okay.
No,
They were English, right?
they were English.
She was okay.
But she was Myrna.
Right, Myrna.
Well, she was destined for a career because of her brother.
Her brother.
Gary. So, and I didn't like Squiggy. That
Oh, you
motherfucker
didn't
was
like
too-
Lenny
he
and
was
Squiggy?
Over the top.
Lenny and the Squig Tones?
Yeah, they were. It was over the top. I just couldn't relate to him.
Okay. That's fine.
Now, I liked Richie, and I liked Potsy.
I liked Potsy.
Ralph Mouth, I didn't care much for.
Why not?
I don't know. He was a cheese ball.
He was, well, you know what? He was kind of that underhanded
His dad was a dentist.
Stuart Margolin type.
Always trying to be a comedian. Wasn't his dad always making bad jokes, the dentist?
Was his dad a dentist?
Am
I
I
know that
imagining
he
that?
always made bad jokes.
I feel like his dad was a dentist. Maybe I'm confusing his dad with Floyd from the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, that guy was a perv.
Or was it? Or was that just because you were into Howard Stern?
Maybe. Maybe it was that.
That's some great
But
stuff.
if you watch it after the Howard Stern stuff, you still think that he's creepy.
Floyd.
Yeah, there's something weird about that character.
That's
Anyway,
funny.
are you ready for Rankers number 1?
Yes, please.
Rankers number 1 is MASH.
Oh, Ranker. You're so cliched.
You think so?
Yeah, and MASH, in my opinion, what year did MASH start?
MASH started in 1972.
God damn. What year did it end?
Like 1981, maybe?
Yeah, that's a full-on 70s show. Well, I got to tell you, MASH was fantastic. Yeah, you couldn't go wrong with MASH. It was one of my favorite shows too. But you know what I'm saying? You can only pick 5. You can only pick 5.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I mean, this is the problem. Looking back, if I had made the list in the 70s, it would have been different maybe. But looking back on it, MASH is it's just a little too much. It's a little too much.
In what way?
There's too much drama and not a lot of comedy. It's just a little too much. And it's a little too, I don't know. It's intense is what it is. It's a little too intense and it's a little too much of the time. It's just a little too much to go back and watch now.
Yeah. Some of the episodes are good. It's a good show.
Good.
It's a good show. It's a really good show.
Alan Alda's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's just, I can't really.
Alan Alda is 100% amazing in
It's
the show.
too serious is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little too serious. And at the same time, it's a little too campy on the other side.
It's a weird mix.
Yeah.
It's a weird mix, but it's obviously an iconic show.
It was so, MASH was so big, it's ridiculous. It was essentially like about the Vietnam War, but they made it about the Korean War.
Right. I think the movie's amazing that it's based on, but...
it is amazing. It's just too heavy. It's too heavy.
It says here it was based on a book, MASH, a novel about 3 army doctors.
Crazy.
I would probably like to read that book just to see how it was. See if it was as fun or whatever funny. Nothing against BJ Honeycutt, but
the beach.
when Trapper John left, I think my heart was broken. Like, I hate that Trapper John leaves, and I hate, this is an anxiety-causing thing, that he leaves and Hawkeye is unable to say goodbye. That caused me so much anxiety.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole thing's too heavy.
It's a little too heavy.
Too
And
much
then
shit
when
going on
they
there.
killed off Henry Blake,
Why they gotta kill everybody?
they killed him off in a helicopter accident on his way home. And that was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
And then what? Who? Harry Morgan took over?
Yeah. Yeah, but when Radar comes in and announces that Henry Blake is dead, it's just a terrible moment.
Why did that guy leave the show?
I guess he went to do Hello Larry.
Career move, mistake 101.
Well, you know what? He probably got offered a lot of money and a lot of promises. And people leave shows all the time and think that the grass is greener, and they just shouldn't. Like that happened to that guy from NYPD Blue.
Who?
The redheaded guy?
Pasty Johnny?
Yeah. And he went and did that movie Jade, and that was a flop.
What's his name? David something?
Caruso.
Okay.
And then he took a long time to come back. Like, I don't know what the backstory is with him, but
I don't know.
then he came back with CSI Miami, I guess. But that was 20 years in between, 15 years in between. I don't know. But even now, MASH couldn't be Klinger couldn't be an episode, or Klinger couldn't be a character because he was dressing like a girl so they would discharge him, so they would think he was crazy, and to give him a Section 8. But now you can't even make fun of a guy who dresses like a girl now. It's absurd. So
now there literally are men in the army who dress like women.
Yeah, they encourage it.
Well, there goes that joke.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I like MASH. but it's a little dark, and a lot of blood, a lot of death, a lot of sadness. I guess war is hell, but it's just to make a comedy out of it. Great show, great cast, but not in my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, and
My top 20
it
probably.
can be done. I mean, Hogan's Heroes wasn't dark.
Hogan's Heroes was ridiculous. That shit came out.
is dark, but the shows were never heavy like MASH.
Dude, think of it this way. Hogan's Heroes came out maybe 20 years after the end of World War II, which was horrific. Can you imagine 20 years after 9/11 there being a comedy about it?
That would be right now.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not funny. Hogan's Heroes was a great show, or a good show at least. But that was weirdly.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how that was approved, and people were like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't." I mean, dude, it's fucking horrific what happened there. And they were
the French guy in Hogan's Heroes was he was actually in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
That's as a child.
And how could he even want to be in that show? Oh, I guess it was a paycheck. I don't know. Crazy. That's crazy to even think of.
Comedy is the best. What do they call it? What do they say?
Medicine?
Yeah.
Laughter is the best medicine?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Boom. All right. Well, this has been our episode about our top 5 favorite 70s shows.
Oh, I got an idea for our show. It's called Rogan's Heroes.
Oh, Joe Rogan?
Yeah. Huh? That should be the name of his podcast.
Rogan's Heroes?
Yeah, it's the best of.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get
Joe,
that to him.
Call me. I got more ideas like this.
More ideas with the name Rogan in them. Rogaine. Or it's just his show about working out and being healthy.
No pain, Rogaine.
Okay. All right. If you have missed the other 109 episodes, you can head over to mackpodcast.com. All of the episodes are there for you to peruse and enjoy at your leisure. We also have mackradio.com, which is basically both of our music collections combined for a radio station. Macradio.com, you can go and see the schedule of when things play. Like we have 80s or 70s or Funk Fridays or live tracks or Hard and Heavy or Drive Time or Easy Like Sunday Morning. Tons of different music blocks at macradio.com. And of course, the YouTube channel, you can look up the Same Chick YouTube channel or the Mac Podcast YouTube channel. It should take you to the same place. And we have Dave is a song reacting machine, basically. We try to put up a new one every day. Dave's busy, so we can't always do that, but that's what the goal is. Anything you wanted to plug, Dave?
Yeah, the new channel I got. It's a kiss marathon. A year-long kiss. Nothing but kiss. Eh?
The channel, your YouTube channel?
No, I don't know. Wouldn't that be absurd?
You are absurd.
Kiss marathon. It's lasting 7 years.
Also,
7 years, nothing but kiss, no commercials.
Okay. You also just you appeared as a guest performer on an album.
I make a performance.
2 songs on the album that just came out. What is it?
Strange Mutations.
Strange Mutations by Count Blastula. Count Blastula is the band. Dave is the drummer on 2 tracks. What tracks are those?
Well, the Canned Noodles.
Canned Noodles.
And Deadly Nightshade.
Deadly Nightshade. So if you head over to Spotify or wherever you get your music, Count Blastula is the name of the band, and Strange Mutations is the name of the album.
Canned Noodles.
Canned Noodles. Is that the instrumental?
It is instrumental.
And what was the other one?
Deadly Nightshade.
Deadly Nightshade. So go look for Count Blastula, those 2 songs with Dave on them.
As opposed to Deadly Window Shade, which is an improperly installed very heavy shade.
Okay. Anyway, we hope that we will be back on a regular schedule.
Schedule. Deadly schedule.
Deadly schedule. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. America?
Take it easy.